Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Monday. I know y'all are like, Amy, why are you on here? It's Monday. I have something very exciting to show you. It's been a project, it's been a pet project of mine. I have had so much fun, and it's something that I have, and y'all know this is one of the things that I always say, enjoy the bragging rights. I have been able to enjoy the bragging rights. This has been in my home. It's been something where people have come in, even my daughter in love the other day when she came to the house and I showed her what I had made. She was like, no way. Like, are you going to show people how to do this? And I thought, yes. So I'm excited to be able to pop on here today. Now, I will tell you, this is a little different. It's out of the realm of painting furniture, which if you didn't tune in on Friday, I had Leah Cook. She's my near and dear to my heart, one of my surrogate daughters, and she is showing you a lot of finishes that we are seeing from questions that you have in your tickets that you send in, that she is showing you how to be able to recreate those. So I love Leah and what she's doing on Fridays. So I wanted to pop on here, show you my pet project, something that I've had so much fun. And I'm going to tell you, if you've never done this before, it is going to be your new fabulous creative addiction. You're going to absolutely love it. So I'm going to hold them up. I want to be able to show you. So stay with me. And as always, as you're watching this video, tag some good friends that you know love crafting a beautiful life, and your name is going to go in for a drawing, and in 3 days we're going to announce the winner here on social media, and we're going to be able to send you a free mold. What I'm showing you today, I'm going to choose one of the molds and I'm going to send it to you absolutely free. So all you have to do is, we say sharing is caring, so share the video, and that way your name will go in for the drawing, and you can give it to somebody as a friend or you can give it to yourself. But this is definitely something that you're going to absolutely love. So, hey, Tana, how's it going, girl? All right. So I want to show you. This is the first one that I had done. Now I'm going to tell you, I love, I love ceramics. But I don't have the hands or the patience to be able to cast on a wheel. Part of what I love about this, one, I love the patina. Two, I love that it's broken. Can you see the unevenness to it? Look at this. I'm gonna hold that to the side and I want you to see. I love the unevenness to it. I love the texture. Look at, can you see the texture? Look at that. I love the texture to it. It feels yummy. It feels handmade, and you can make this yourself in 30 minutes or less. Are you ready for this? Love it. All right, so this is the first thing I'm going to show you how to do, is this uneven, beautiful bowl that you can use for a lot of different things. I just chose to use it as a candle, and I'm going to walk you through very quickly how to be able to do that, but you can use this bowl for other things as well. If you want to be able to seal it, you can go in and you can actually use it for food. You can use it for salad bowls. You can use it for a lot of different things. If you're going to be using it for food, I would go in and make sure that you seal it with a food grade safe sealer first. But I love making it for my candles, to be able to put things in decorative. You can put little plants in this. You can create a succulent garden. There's so many different things that you can do. The second thing that I'm going to show you today, anybody in the comments, just say if you have the same problem. But I love to have a place for Gene Howard to put his wallet and his keys and his change. Does anybody else have that problem? It's like, here, honey, I'm going to give you something pretty. That way, this is just kind of a location. You may have something for yourself. I'm going to turn this up so that way you can see it. You may have something that you want to be able to have, that you just put your jewelry. This could be a great soap tray. This could be so many different things in so many different rooms. And I call this our Venetian tray. Look at this. Look at the detail on it. It's so, so pretty. It's so pretty. And I think it's very classic. We are really going into, the trend is called maximalism. And so we're going back to that Baroque period. We're going back to a lot of Italian, Venetian, and these things are absolutely yummy. So I want to show you, they're so easy to make. So as you pop on, please say hello. Tell me where you're tuning in from. Don't forget to share the video, tag some good friends, because that way your name will go in for a drawing and you can win one of these free molds. So I'm going to go on and turn this down. And I know a lot of you are like, I can't believe it's Monday. What is she doing on Facebook? But this is very exciting. And I didn't want to launch this today without actually doing a live. So many of you are going to probably see this later. But as you do, please say hello and tell me where you're tuning in from. I love to know that. This is our tribe, as we say. Hey, Brenda from Venice, Florida. This is our tribe. We're all sisters from a different mother. So we love crafting a beautiful life. So I'm going to go on and turn this down. And I've got it to where I can see your questions over here. Now, that will allow me to be able to answer them. And then two, if it's a situation to where, let me make sure I get my light so that way you can see. Be sure ask a question. Guys, there's no dumb questions. It's a situation where I want to make sure that you understand it so that way you can have a lot of fun with your project. Now, I'm going to show you how to create the bowl first. We can kind of do them simultaneously. The process is going to be the same. It was so funny when my grandson came over the other day. He literally was reaching in trying to take this wick out of the candle. And it's kind of funny. The wick that we're going to be using today is actually a wooden wick. If you've never used these when you're doing your candles, the wooden wicks, they pop and crack. It really is a very romantic sound. I think it's a lot of fun to be able to have them, and it's really easy to do. All right, so if you've never done our casting before, we're calling this segment the art of casting, because the casting is going to be able to allow you to be able to make so many different things that are more decorative accessories in your home. So I'm going to go on and work with, now I will tell you what I'm working with today is Eco Powder. If you go to amyhowardathome.com, it will have at the very top, it's a collection, and the collection is going to take you to all the products that I'm working with today. And the code is casting 10, CASTING, casting, all caps, 10. And that is going to allow you to be able to get a 10% discount. This is a brand new launch today, but we did want to give you a discount for tuning in. And I promise this is going to be your favorite new creative addiction. It is absolutely the most fun and the most satisfying. So I'm working with my Eco Powder, and I've already poured some of it into my little container that I want to be able to show you. Now, you'll notice this is white. And part of what I love about these is these are kind of a really gorgeous dark gray color. In order to be able to get this, we're going to need to be able to work with our pigments. So I've taken my Eco Powder and I'm going to be working with pigments. Now, those of you, when you go to the Amy Howard at Home site, you're going to see we have a lot of different pigments. All of our pigments come from Provence. They are not synthetic pigments. These are all natural. These come from quarries out of Provence, France. And it's going to really give you a beautiful color. So that way, if you want to go into reds and yellows and blues, you can get different pigments. You don't have to do yours dark gray like I did. I just love working with the gray because I think it's because I was working with the Venetian. I think it was just really a great fit to do with my gilding that I'm going to show you. All right, so now what I'm going to do, when I am wanting to change the color of my Eco Powder, and I want to create the bowls or the trays in different colors, then all you're going to do is add your pigment. All right, so then I'm going to go in and add my black pigment. When you are, please make note of this. When you are getting ready to add color, don't add the water first, add the pigment first. You want to work in a dry form, get the color that you want, and then know that it's going to go a little bit darker when you add the water. Is everybody with me? So this is my Eco Powder. I'm going to add a little bit of Noir or black, Noir, black pigment into it. Now, also make sure you're working dry first. I'm just going to clean this off. Now, I will tell you, Brooke, you'll have to let me know there from the office. I am working on a silicone mat today. And I love working with silicone if I'm working with wax or my Eco Powder. It's just a great surface. And this is a baking silicone mat. So if you haven't done that, if you've not worked with that before, it really makes it nice and easy. It's an easy cleanup. If you spill things over, then that way you have protected your kitchen counter. So we're trying to get those live for you today so that way you can get them on Amy Howard at Home. All right, so now I've taken my eco powder, I've added the black pigment. Again, why? Because I'm wanting to have this dark gray tray and a dark gray mold. So I'm going to stir this up really good. Now I will tell you, it's kind of like with recipes. Let's say if we were making risotto, this is a lot like cooking. And a lot of the finishes and things that we do, that is when you're making things from scratch. That's kind of how it is. But I'm wanting to make sure that I am really getting down into the bottom of this and I'm blending this very well. I don't want to have solid white showing. I want to be able to have it to where I've got all the same color. So you may want to lean it over to the side. Just make sure that it's blended very, very well. So I'm going to say blend this for about a minute. Please make sure that this is all mixed in together because it will make a difference when you actually start to go pour it up. So now I'm going to go on. Do we have, I guess I can kind of move it over. I'll lay it here. So it's all good. So now I'm going to go on and add my water. Now I'm going to use this kind of like, again, like we're cooking. I want this to be the consistency of pancake batter. Everybody with me? That kind of lets you know it's a little thicker. It's not real runny. And pretty much everybody's pancake batter is going to be a little bit different, but that's the consistency that we want to get with this. So as a rule, I will say 2 parts powder to 1 part water. Now, I will make sure that I do a little bit first and get it blended. That way I don't go too thin. Now, you can always add a little bit more of eco powder if it goes too thin. You cannot mess this up, I promise. All right, so now one thing, I don't know if you noticed, what happened when I added the water? Look, it went really dark. So it's going to dry down just a tad darker, but whatever color you're coming up with when you're adding your pigment, you want to make sure that you remember that it's going to go just a little bit darker, which is a good thing in my book because I love really dark grays. All right, so now I added a little bit more water and I'm going to start to mix this up. I don't want to paste. Again, I wanted the consistency of pancake batter. All right, so now I am continuing to work. I'm getting it off the sides. Here's the other beautiful thing. Our eco powder is, it sets up, it is self-leveling and it will set up within 30 minutes. So once you mix this up with water, you've probably got about, you've got about 15 minutes before you've got to make sure you pour it up. So when you're setting up, get your silicone mat down. We have these on Amy Howard at Home. Get all your supplies. We kind of call that like French cooking, mise en place. Have it all together because once you mix this up, I want you pouring it up in the mold. So now I'm turning it to the side. I am really stirring it. I want to make sure this is all mixed up really well. The main thing is I want to make sure that that black pigment is being dispersed. All right, so I feel good about that. Now I've got my mold. Now you'll notice, great, good job, Gina, thank you. You'll notice I just did a class in-house and I thought I explained my directions, but when people poured up the vessels for their candles, they were pouring it in this way. You are working in reverse. So can you see the side of the mold? You're going to turn it over because you're working in reverse. So see this little hole right here? That's where we're pouring it. The same thing on our tray. You see the front of the tray. This is not where we're pouring. Flip it over. And this is the back. This is where we're going to pour it into. All right, so now we've mixed it up good. I'm happy with the consistency. And I am going right for the center of the mold. That's where I'm going to pour it in. So I'm trying to stay focused on that center. That way it gets evenly distributed. I'm watching it. Can you kind of see that on the camera? I'm going to fill it all the way to the top. This is the bottom of our mold. We're working in reverse. The same thing on our tray. I'm going to go in and pour this up. Part of the reason why I've got this on this board, because I can slide it off to take you to the next mold. Now, you can just leave this in your room. You want to make sure the temperature is fairly controlled. You don't want to have it just freezing cold or too hot, because it's going to take about 20 to 25 minutes for this to set up completely hard. It is, that's the part that's so addictive to me. It's so satisfying. All right, I'm going to do the same thing on my tray. These are the two molds that we're launching today. We're launching our Venetian tray and our Clairborne bowl, very artisanish. All right, so that's all you have to do. So I'm going to let these set up for about 20 minutes, and then I'm able to demold them. All right, so I've got two already. So I'm going to just slide this, if I can. I'm going to slide this off to the side. All right, good deal. All right, so now here's the ones that I literally did right before we went live. Now, what I want you to see is I don't want you to freak out and go, oh my gosh, what's wrong with the bottom? Once I wax this, it's going to be fine. But this, you're working in reverse again. And now I'm going to demold. Are you ready? So now I'm just going to take the top of this mold and I'm going to roll it just a little bit. Look at this. Oh my goodness, look at this. So think about the pigment. What did we do? We added black pigment because I wanted to do a dark gray, because that would be pretty to be able to come in. This is very Venetian. It's very ornate. It's such a great looking piece that I thought I could gild it. But you could do these in cream. You could do these in pink. You can do terrazzo chips. There's so many things that you can do. But all of this is added because we did the pigment in our eco powder. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go on and I want to show you how you can add the detail with your gilding. And if you've never gilded before, I'm going to show you just how easy it is. All right, so we're going to be working with our gold leaf. It's by Amy Howard at Home. This has a complete book that comes in this container, and there's 25 pages. So when you open it up, in between all these pages are your leaf, and there's a tissue in between each one, and there's going to be a binding on the book that's going to allow you to be able to hold it together. All right, so now I'm going to go on, and with the size is basically a glue. It's intended just for gold leaf. I'm going to be working with an artist brush, and I'm just going to dip it down into the size, offload it just a little bit. And then I'm going to come back around. Now you'll notice with the size, it's white. So when you're working with a darker color, or if you've tinted it, whatever color you're wanting to work with, bring my camera down just a little bit more so that way you can see it. What you're going to notice, wherever you lay this size, that's what's going to allow your leaf to stick. I get that up. Can you see now how this is kind of a little bit more matte, and see how this is going just a little bit shinier? Where you don't get the size, the leaf is not going to stick to your tray. All right, so I'm going to go on and just move this around. I'm going to do just enough because I want to be able to take you through the process so that way you can see it. Because when you're working with eco powder and you've worked with your pigments, you can use it on so many things, but there is a process to it that you can make it to where it's a lot prettier and it's a lot more upscale. This is, again, I love having something that I know that I can take my jewelry off, that Gene can put his wallet and his coins and his keys. This is perfect for that. And it literally feels like a beautiful ceramic piece. I'm going to do just a little bit more, and then we're going to transition into the gilding. And I love being able to use the pigment, really customize it, and then adding things like leaf. You can use some of the stencils. You can create designs on here. Your creativity is the only thing that's going to hold you up. All right, so now I've laid some of that down. What I want to do before I actually lay the leaf down, I need to make sure that I fan it, because you want to make sure that this comes to tack. You don't want to lay down the leaf before it's come to tack. So I'm going to move these out of the way. I don't want me fanning it. So I'm just going to fan this just a little bit, because if you go in and you lay down your leaf on your tray before this has come to what we call tack, T-A-C-K, it's going to be mushy. We want this to come to tack before we lay the leaf down. And I want to make sure too that I don't put on too much. So after about 5 minutes, you're fine to go on and lay your leaf down. So now what I normally like to do, I don't work with an entire sheet. I'm going to work with holding my spine in place, and I'm going to cut it. So look at this expansiveness here. I've only got about this much area that I really need to cover. So I'm going to go on and cut this lengthwise, always leaving the spine at the end. And now I'm going to pull back this, holding all of it together, so that way the entire book is being held with one hand. So I'm going to go in and turn this over, and I'm going to lay it down just where I laid the size. Now, while I'm holding it with my left hand, I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to pull it away, and then I'm going to burnish it before I pull it up. Is everybody with me? All right, let's go to the next section. I'm going to pull this away, and I'm going to lay it down, burnish it again. And I'll start working my way around my tray. Holding it with my left hand because I'm right-handed. And I'm working my way around. I saw the question. I'm going to try to get through with this so that way I can see your questions. So, is there any possible repair with the breakage of Amy's bowl? Yes, there is. But it's too easy for me to make another one. You could, there is something called kintsugi, which is all about, and we can really probably say that analogy in our own lives, things that are broken are more beautiful. Would y'all totally agree? Hey, Jill. Hey, Randy. Hey, Tamara. It is so interesting. These are actually things. Hey, Audra, these are things that you could make these, Tamara, and sell them in your booth. They're so chic looking. All right, so I'm going to take just a little bit there. I want to burnish this in. When you are gilding, and I've got a lot of master gilders on here that I can see in my group, the more you burnish it, the prettier your gilding is going to be. For the sake of time, I'm not going to go around and do a lot of burnishing. I want to clean it off. All right, so now I'm going to take a synthetic brush. Usually when I am cleaning off my gilding, I won't use a chip brush. I'll use a synthetic brush or something that's just a little bit more dense, because it's going to make it easier for me to actually clean it off. So I'm going to go around and basically just kind of start to clean my leaf off. So that's, a lot of people think when they see things that are gilded that it's just a really high level skill. It's not. It is so fun and so easy. If you want, you can gild some of your nails along the way. Now, I want you to be able to see. I am not concerned. Look at the difference. See how adding that detail element of the gold really just makes it pop. If you're more of a silver person, you can add silver leaf if you want to do copper. But I would say really experiment. If you want to be able to get a lot of really pretty colors and do these trays, just get the pigments. Now, this is something that those of you that are going to see this, you're in my inner circle, or you've been working a lot with the milk paints and with the pigments. You do not put milk paint in eco powder. You need to work with a pure pigment. That's going to give you the best success. All right, so now I'm just going to clean this off. Now we're not finished. If we're going to be doing this and really creating a beautiful look with the eco powder and what we've cast, I am going to need to wax it. So I'm going to take my Mind Your Own Beeswax, and I'm going to seal it. Now, one thing that you're going to notice now, a lot of you are probably like, why are you sealing that before you've gilded? Because I want you to be able, I can finish this later, but I'm wanting to be able to teach you more of the skill set. Now, I am not coming back and doing any steel wool on this because it's not quite set up. I can distress it a little bit with my wax. So I'm going to put a little bit of the beeswax on my rag. Don't put the wax directly on the tray. You want to make sure that you've put it on a rag first. You want to make sure that's evenly distributed. Guys, as you pop on, say hey, tell me where you're tuning in from. Hey, Lisa. And take advantage of the code today is casting10, where you can get a discount. These are a brand new launch on our 2 molds on our bowl as well as our tray. Yes, Kim, I love that. So it's kind of like kintsugi. You can repair it and then gild the cracks. That's what kintsugi is, where you can emphasize it. I worried because this cut on my finger hurts me so bad. I didn't realize how deep a cut it was, and I didn't want to have my Band-Aid on. So I was being a little too careful with trying to demold that, but hopefully it may be actually dry in just a minute. So I'm going to go on. Here's the other thing. Make sure that you get all of your excess loose leaf off before you actually go into the waxing process. So the pretty thing is when you are waxing the eco powder that you've made in whatever color you do it in, it is going to seal it. So that way, if you want to use it over and over again, if you've got it to where you're going to be putting your jewelry on it, you can do soap on it if you want to. You can use it as a tray for so many things. It's going to seal the eco powder so that way it's not going to absorb anything that you put into it like that. The other thing that I like to do is I'll come back and I'll go directly on top of my leaf because I want to distress it. So see how I've come in and actually kind of worn that off? My wax will allow me to do that. So now I want to be able to come back with my dust. Now, those of you, you've heard me talk about this enough, but your dust of ages, do not put it on your wax until you know it's kind of dried a little bit. So I'm going to fan this. Jean, can you check on my bowl? I'm drying this just a little bit on my wax. I want to make sure that it's not too wet before I actually add the dust of ages. Yes, guys, and the replay on this is going to be available. We'll upload it. We'll have it on the website under the collection. 1 or 2 more minutes. Okay, we'll be able to kind of go in and demold that one. All right, so now I'm going to go on and dip my brush into my dust of ages. And I'm going to focus more about kind of coming around the perimeter because I want it to kind of go down into these crevices, give me a little bit of depth. Again, this seals the eco powder. And especially if you're working with it in your dark grays and your blacks, as far as your colors on your trays or your bowls, it gets down in the crevices and it really gives it a very pretty patina. So if you're putting wax in the bowl for a candle, do we wax it? Yes, Randy, because I want you to see the patina to it. Can you see this? Being able to come back and add the wax and do the dust of ages in it, it really gives it a very pretty patina. All right, so now I'm going to go on, and while I've got this on here, I'm going to start to buff it. I want to keep a little bit of it down in the crevices, but this really does start to give you a pretty patina. It's going to make your gold leaf have kind of a hand rubbed effect to it. So pretty. It's so satisfying because literally, I'll lift this up just a little bit. How'd it do? It's not ready. All right. So can you see that? So pretty. All right. So this is the beauty of doing things live. So here, I'm going to pull this up because I want you to be able to see me. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let my bowl dry, the one that we went live with. And I'm going to come back because I want you to do the process of the bowl. It's fairly easy. Just make sure that it dries for at least 30 minutes before you demold it. 30, 45 minutes is even greater. What I will do is I'll normally touch the mold to make sure that it's not too hot, that it started to cool down. And then that way I can demold it and come back and do your waxing just like we did on our tray. Do your waxing, add your leaf. I came around on my bowl and I laid my artist brush just on the top, just like this, because I didn't want it to be too much. I loved the idea. Can you see that? Of just a barely there. Can you see that little gold rim? It's so pretty just to be very, very subtle. And so I came back, I waxed the inside of my bowl as well as the outside. Why? Why do you think I would wax the inside as well as the outside? It seals it. So that way it's going to actually seal it. It's curing that, making sure that it's all nice and even. That way, go on and actually do your dust of ages on the bowl as well as your gilding before you pour your wax in. So then that way, what I used is a wooden wick that we have these on the website that you can place your wooden wick down into your clip, place this down into your bowl, and then pour your wax in it. So we have your beeswax, we have your essential oils. Everything is there in the collection to be able to make a beautiful candle mold like this. I will tell you. Oh,
Be
look.
very careful.
Okay.
Be very careful. It's to know.
Ta-da! Look at this. All right, can you see? Jean, you're the best. Now, I want you to be able to see something. Look at the difference. Jean saved the day. Look at the difference. Look at the difference between waxing the bowl and not waxing. Can you see the patina? Look at that. Waxing it makes such a huge difference. And it seals the eco powder. Look at that. Look. So yummy. I don't know about y'all. Tell me. I am in love. Look at this. I am in love with this bowl. It is absolutely divine. I see these in really high-end boutique shops, and they're very, very expensive. But you can use these bowls for so many things, and they're so easy to use. And the other great thing is it doesn't use a whole lot of eco powder. All right, so now, trying to think, I'm going to go on and turn this back down. Let's finish this. All right, so I'm going to go on and place my wick into my stand like this. So that way you don't have to attach it. You can go on and trim it down. You can cut it with some scissors. So that way your wick is that size. I'm going to go on and pour it here. I'm going to turn this down. Hang with me. Yay! Okay. All right. So let's finish this. All right. So I've got my wax melted over here. I'm gonna pour this up. Hang with me. So now I'm gonna go on our and those of you, you may not know this, but we have essential oils that are organic. I've done a lot of research and I have found out that a lot of the fragrances that are used in candles are hormone disruptors. And so we really want to make sure that we're very careful when we have fragrance in our homes. And so when I'm doing candles, I like using organic wax and I like using organic essential oils. That way it's all natural. It's not going to hurt me or my health. And so it's a great thing to be able to have when you're making your candles. So I'm going to be using grapefruit essential oils. I'm going to stir that up. And you can mix them. You can mix grapefruit with vanilla. You can create notes. That's a whole other live that I need to do for you guys. All right, so now I'm just going to go on and pour this up into our mold. I need just a little bit more wax. As a rule, when I'm doing my essential oils, I'll add about 15 drops. Stir that up again. Now, I want to make sure, you'll notice I'm pouring this in kind of off to the side. I want to stay away from my wick. Now, the other thing that you need to notice, and the caveat here, this bowl is very uneven. So you see how, and that's part of the beauty of it, see how one side is very high and another side is going to be very low. You've got to be able to stay in relationship to the side that's going to be the lowest. That way you're going to be fine. So you're going to have a little bit more space on this side than you do on the edge. That way it's not going to flow out. So I've got my wick in place. Now, I would normally have come in and added my size and done my leaf and waxed the outside. So that way I've got this really pretty patina. But this is going to take about 45 minutes to set up. It's a fairly thick candle. And then voila, it's finished. So you've got a gorgeous looking Venetian tray that you can have, you can give to your husband and say, here, put your keys, your wallet, and your coins on this, honey, or you can put your jewelry on it. You could have his and hers next to your sink. I think these are absolutely adorable. And then now you're going to be able to make these adorable hostess gifts or something for you to be able to enjoy in your home. I absolutely love these bowls. So we did it. Guess what? So take advantage of the casting tin link that you can get. Just type that in. That's your code today. You can save 10% on everything that I showed you. You can go to the top of the banner on Amy Howard at Home and it will say collection on the live today. Just click on that and it will take you to all the products that I used to just make your shopping a little bit easier. So I hope you've enjoyed this. You know, part of what I tell people, I love painting furniture. I love decorating. I love design. I love my home, the fact that it's an extension of me. But I also love to craft a beautiful life. I love making things that I can enjoy in my home and that I can give as gifts. So I thought it would be awfully fun to show you something that I am truly, I say my creative addiction of working with our eco powder and our molds. And they're very high end. The scale of them feels beautiful. I love how they look and how they perform when I'm decorating. I hope you have a fantastic Monday. Share this video, tag some good friends, and I hope you have a wonderful week, guys. Mwah.